For the Dancing on Ice contestants, last night it was Skills Week.
Skills Week.
So how skilled was Skills Week?
Well, they weren't bad, but the results were all lower. Denise got her highest score, actually. But anyway, it was all pretty tough stuff. And Sam, of course, decided to push himself even further and do that headbanger. If you missed any of it, here's just a little roundup of last night's show, and then we're going to talk to Hayley and get all the goss.
Tonight, all three skills must come together.
You are upping your ante, so well done.
You are an unbelievable performer.
You are so focused on your own skating, you sometimes forget Brianne is there with you.
It kind of looked a little grotesque.
That was the best overall performance of the night.
Aww. It was a tough week, wasn't it? I think actually, even for the audience, because we've been used to seeing the scores getting higher and higher, and it's been very exciting. And suddenly it felt a little bit flat, I thought, because the scores were so much lower.
The tension really, really mounted this week, and I think everybody felt it, not just the odd one or two, everybody, even the people who are at the top of the leaderboard. Sam, Chloe, poor Chloe, you know, she really kind of had a bit of a meltdown with her confidence this week, and ended up in tears, bless her, with me yesterday. She just really felt like she'd not done a good job, and you know, trying to tell someone like Chloe, you are great at what you're doing.
But she didn't look like she was enjoying it as much, and I can understand all of them. If you're skating and you think, any minute now I've got to do that horrible jump,
well,
or
what
those
Chloe
steps.
said, she said, actually, what makes this hard for me is watching everybody else skate. She feels like when she watches them, then she feels like she's not as good as everybody else. But she is. She's fantastic, and she's doing such a good job.
Well, she did. I mean, she apologised to her partner, didn't she? Because she did lose it in rehearsals.
Yeah, they had a bit of an argument, which actually for Michael and Chloe is quite regular. They're like brother and sister, and they argue like brother and sister, and then they make up. And they are a great partnership. But yeah, they're not the only two. There was some tension backstage.
But you know, I saw her point. I mean, he's the professional skater, but he did keep doing that, oh, you know, that face every time she moved. And she said, don't do that. Don't keep groaning and moaning. I'm doing my best.
I know. It's funny how all the couples work together, you know. It really is.
Now, I don't know what you felt about Sam. You know, I think it was a very brave move that he did the headbanger.
Yes.
But I felt very uncomfortable watching it. I felt uncomfortable knowing it was coming up. I thought it was very early on in the series.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt the same.
Why? I mean, what's...
The headbang, you know, when he has to spin her,
so what, you mean he wasn't ready for it? I
just thought, I felt worried for her.
This is the first time a male celebrity has attempted and done the headbanger in the series. David Seaman tried it and it failed, and so Sam's the first person to have done it. Here we go, this is it. Now, if you see what Brianne's doing with her hand, she sweeps the ice.
I see what you mean, Ruth.
Don't blame her.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, that last one, she actually wiped her shoulder on the ice. She's the best professional to do that sort of thing with, because she doesn't care.
Are you saying that was a safety mechanism, or she...
It's a safety thing. She said to me, what I'm going to do is, if I don't feel safe, I will swipe my hand on the ice.
Obviously, she didn't feel safe.
That means I know where the ice is. I can judge whether my shoulder or my head is going to be close to the ice.
That's what I mean. Did you think it was too soon? Also, because it was Skills Week, to me, it's slightly detracted from what everybody else was doing. So you said we're all concentrating on our jumps and our steps. And he threw in this amazingly difficult lift.
I wish he'd have waited till next week.
Where does he go from here? What's he going to do next week?
Because his skills were great, but then skills and a massive thing like the headbanger in 1 week, maybe he should have left it till next week. But, you know, he still did such a great job to pull that off.
But it was reflected in the scores, because he wasn't top of the leaderboard, was he?
Laura beat him.
Despite his skills being quite good, he didn't beat Laura.
Times like this, I wish you were on that show.
We're going to get her on, Eamon.
How I would have laughed. Somebody spinning her round in her head, going round the ice. I would pay. Can you sponsor people on this show? Can you do that?
I've already put a good word in for her. We're going to get her on, honestly.
Who'd cook your tea if I got my head damaged, hey? Yes.
Laura Hamilton had a great show last night. Obviously, we saw her come top of the leaderboard. Dress rehearsal. Oh, my heart was in my mouth. The very first bit of the routine, she does a little run towards Colin, and she tripped in rehearsal, and thank goodness he was there. This bit there you've just seen. oh, she could have gone flying and it could have all been over, but she absolutely pulled it out of the bag.
I think
on the
she
night.
could win this. You know, everybody's saying about Sam, but she just gets better and better every week, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
I know. She's doing such a good job.
How do you get over that, Hayley? If you know, had a bad rehearsal, I'm sure you had them. You know, it's full
gosh,
dress rehearsal and you fall over. How do you... And it's not long before you do the main show. How do you get back on track?
I don't think it ever leaves your head. Like she said to me last night, that's the most nervous she's been since the start of the competition, because I think her rehearsal was a little bit ropey. You just have to pray that bad dress rehearsal means great show.
Now, talking of great show, Denise, our Denise, she had a great night last night, didn't she? And she seemed genuinely shocked at those scores.
Yeah, she was, because what nobody obviously saw, when the cameras weren't on, Denise did her spin to perfection. In the dress rehearsal, she did it, the cameras weren't rolling, brilliant. 2 spins, better than a lot of the others. Come to the night, and God love her, you know, she had a little wobble. But the judges had seen what she'd done in the day and seen her rehearsal and know she can do it. And if you look now, she's doing this on her own. 2 3 jumps on her own, no assistance. It's absolutely brilliant.
Really, I thought she looked lovely last night.
She looked gorgeous.
As well. And they kept saying, you know, using this word serene.
Yeah.
Which Denise said, you know, I don't do ladylike easily. But she did last night, and I thought she did a terrific job.
She's absolutely nailing it. She's brilliant. Great.
Really pleased for her.
I want to talk about Jeff as well. He had a really...
Jeff, the bottom two.
Another difficult dress rehearsal. A difficult week for Jeff. He was a bit hard on himself this week, really wanted to do well in the skills. And he sat down with me on the weekend and I said, you know what? You can do this. Take some deep breaths just before you go on. Really deep breathe. That's what I used to have to do. Because your heart rate races and builds. And, you know, before you know it, you're like, whoa, you get on there and you make mistakes. He nailed it. He was great.
One name missing from that lineup that you've been speaking about is Kerry Katona, of course. And that's because Kerry did eventually bite the dust last night. And we're going to be back. We're talking to her live in the studio right after this. Don't go away.